Everybody, join the majority. So mathematics. Yes, it is very important that we preach love and, of course, brotherhood. Without love, we cannot experience peace. Without peace, we can have progress. And without progress, we cannot achieve a meaningful development of the nation and the people. It is on that note that we welcome you to Citizens Forum on the Daybreak Show. Today, Wednesday, the 7th of March 2018. I am Tobi Joseph.
I am Aghemerio. Oaikhenan.
All right, this morning we will be looking at politics, of course, in the eyes of so many of us who are looking at what will happen in 2019. It's already an election year, no matter how you look at it, but we will focus in on Ogun State this time around. The clamor before now is that the APC and the PDP are the two dominant political parties in Nigeria. The APC being the ruling party, not only in the states, but also at the federal level. And the PDP, the then ruling party, now the main opposition party, is also one of the dominant political parties. The usual debate has always been the type of party democracy or party system we should run. Should it be a multi-party democracy system of government, or should it be a two-party system, or should it be a three-party system? Some say that we should just fashion it just like we have in the United States of America, where you have the Democratic Party and, of course, the Republican Party. Well, there are also smaller parties in the United States. It's just that they are not as strong as these two parties that I mentioned. But for years now, in fact, for decades, it has always been either a Republican winning the presidential election or a Democrat running the affairs of the United States. So people say, let us have that same template in Nigeria. If it's not APC, then we can have the PDP. Some are disenchanted with the APC right now in the country and also the states, while others believe that that should not give us the go-ahead to now bring the PDP back because they have refused to forgive the PDP. So the clamor for a third force became very strong. Now, who is the third force? Or which party is going to present that challenge to these two dominant parties? Before now, we have the SDP, which contested in the 2015 elections. Aghemerio, you had a political leader in his own right, so you can give it to him. Former governor of the state who had many followers at the campaign, and of course having all his followers, the campaign to the SDP, all of them contesting in that election, but they all lost out in that election. Now the SDP is on one corner. You have the Labour Party also in one corner. You also have the SDP. You also have the Accord Party in one corner, and so many other parties. You have PPN already, which actually contested in 2011, lost, talking about the governorship election, but of course they are able to represent a representative at the assembly. Now, when you look at this, well, you have to permit me to use that word, or smaller parties, so to speak. Now we are talking about a movement that would metamorphose into election, or the need for a third force. Is that not an indictment on these parties? Is it that they cannot present a formidable candidate that can actually take over the reins of power when the incumbent Senator Bikola Muso leaves office on May 29, 2019? Others are also asking the same question. Do we even need a third force in Ogun State? Going by the performance of the government in power, of the party in power, the APC, that we should have continuity of ideas, continuity of plans, continuity of projects, so that party should be allowed to present a candidate and of course should be supported. While others believe no, we should go back to the then party talking about the PDP. It's a very naughty issue, Aghemerio, but that is what we're looking at this morning.
All right, we'll need to get into the heat of the matter so that
Mhm.
we can fly fast and get to where we want to get to this morning. Of course, we have in the studio someone who is able, capable, who has what it takes to actually be on this hot seat or in this hot seat this morning, and he will definitely be taking us around this. All right, Toby, you want to introduce him?
Yes, we have a studio friend of the house, a public affairs analyst in his own right, a public commentator, Deji Ogundimu. You're welcome to the Daybreak Show.
Thank you very much.
All right, AJ, let me quickly push this to you. Looking at the political terrain, Ogun State political terrain, how would you describe, politics in Ogun State? Now, looking at it from the year 1999 till date.
Thank you very much, Aghemerio. Uh, Let me start by saying that the political terrain in Nigeria, so to say, because whatever happened in Ogun State is going to be a reflection or a dropout of what we are experiencing at the national level. In Ogun State, as Tobi has rightly narrated in his four words, Ogun State political terrain and stage is getting more and more interesting than before now. We've been seeing a lot of things that have been put in place by the present administration in Ogun State. And why I said it's going to be getting more and more interesting is the fact that we are looking forward to having either a political party or a candidate or an individual that will be coming around to try as much as possible or in his own right to kind of surpass the achievement of the current administration in Ogun State. Sentiment apart, Senator Ibikunle Amosun has done so well in terms of every other thing you can attribute governance to. So why I said it's interesting and it's going to be getting more interesting is the fact that we are actually looking forward to seeing someone or a political party that will be coming to meet that feat.
How mature would you say the politics in Ogun State has become? How mature would you say it is?
Everything is becoming more and more interesting and comical to some extent. Comical in the sense that we are seeing more of people from the same parties that are, supposed to be forming a kind of synergy, working hand in hand with each other. Like it's likely to have a repetition of what happened in 2015, because we had a candidate that everybody believed, or we have a section in the state where people has been clamoring for their inclusion in the governance. I'm talking about the Yewa Awori stuff now. So we had a candidate from that particular zone after so many hula balloons, and at the end of the day, he never see the light of the day. So what we are experiencing now in terms of different candidates, we are seeing somebody from this, somebody is a Lagosian, somebody is from a political party, somebody is doing this. A lot of things has been happening. That is why I said it's going to be very much more interesting, even than the Aso Rock contest in 2019.
All right, quite a number of political parties here and there, in fact, quite a number, and even as it is, we have more groups coming together and wanting to be registered as political parties. Now let's talk about the third force. Now let's explain that first. What do you think about the third force?
Third force supposed to be in its right context. That third force supposed to be the leaning line between two different political groups. Like we have the Labour Party and the Liberal Democrat. Liberal Democrat is the party that is forming a kind of third force that climbed into that status in the United Kingdom. We have the Conservative and we have the Labour Party as the two major parties. So when those two major parties are failing to some extent in their responsibility in delivering the programs of governance, the Liberal Democrat was able to show up, and they took up the gauntlet and they were able to present candidate and they started flying, and that is how they got themselves weaved into the political space in the United Kingdom. But here in Nigeria, what we are seeing now, I would call it a kind of personal ambition and personal aggrandizement, in the sense that not all these people, not all the personalities that we are saying parading themselves at third force have been able to demonstrate or convince us that these are some things that they've actually been involved with in maybe in terms of social development or activities or so many other things. All we are seeing them doing is parading themselves, trying to usurp power and get to political office.
Now, let us try to bring this home, talking about Ogun State. I said we're going to focus on Ogun State. You said, in your words, that Governor Ibikola Amosun has done so well. That was the phrase you used, so well, in terms of governance in all ramifications. There are people who disagree with that assertion. They believe that there are so many other indices that could be used to actually gauge the performance of the governor, and that it has fallen short in some sectors or areas. Now, these are the set of people who are actually saying, well, they should have a fresh face, a fresh party that should take over the reins of power in the state in 2019. Are these people right with this position?
They are very right. They are very right in the sense that people will want a kind of change. I'm not talking about APC change now. People will want real change. People will want something to be different from what they've been experiencing previously. But going back to the issue of Senator Ibikola Amosun, there's nowhere in the world that you have a perfect government where 100% of the citizenry will be given a pass mark. But in my own analysis, Governor Ibikola Amosun has stepped on so many toes in the right ways, and he has gone, I will keep saying this, he has gone against so many sentimental obstacles that are plaguing development as far as Ogun State is concerned. So he has done so well in terms of bringing governance to the people. People are of the opinion that money are not being shared, money are being mismanaged and some other things like that. But I keep telling people that in a situation whereby you are saying what the arguments are very, they varied. Some people are saying a 2-kilometer road that's supposed to cost 100 naira is being presented to be costing 200,000 naira, blah, blah. There are some other sentiments apart from the major reason why government should be in place. There are some people that are disenchanted in the sense that the party members or some people that are supposed to be benefiting from the crumbs of contract that are supposed to be done. But what I'm after is that delivery. This man has been delivering in terms of infrastructure. Arguments are just in so many ways flying around, but I maintain my standard. If I want to gauge this man again, I'm going to give him 75%.
Okay, now this is not about him, really. This is about the parties, all right? Now, the APC is the present ruling party in Ogun State. People believe that the PDP has been out of power for 8 years, and they can actually be brought back to come and see whether they've learned some lessons. That is what some people are saying, that they can actually be brought back. Let's give them a chance. Let's see whether they've learned some lessons, and let's see what they can do so that there can be some kind of healthy rivalry or competition that can be weighed side by side with the achievements of the ruling party APC.
That is the way it's supposed to be. But in Nigeria, people are seeing politics as a way of making money, as a way of making names and lording over people. They will tell you they are coming to serve and they want to have, their aspiration is based on delivery and making life easy for the people. But at the end of the day, when you elect them and they have your vote, it's going to be a different thing entirely. That is why the issue of third force is not in any way relevant in Nigeria. Because if we have a vibrant opposition party that are always doing what is right, playing the role of opposition the way it should be played, we wouldn't be having any cause for third party anyway. But the political class has failed the people. So that is why our politicians are very, very smart. They knew that there's no way you can come around now and say you are either APC or PDP and you have people's support. That is why they are trying to coin something else. When President Olusegun Obasanjo came up with this issue of third force, I as a person, the former president, Dr. Olusegun Obasanjo, when he came up with the issue of third force, I as a person made several attempts several attempts to have a one-on-one with him, because I have my reservation about President Olusegun Obasanjo coming around now with that message of third force. So before I make any public comment, I try to see if I can have an audience with him and ask him some questions before I make comment on the board. It was futile. That is by the way. I will tell you this. The political class are coming around again with another joker. I will tell you, in 2019, if anything should change at any strata, nothing is going to be different.
So the
because
third
we
is
are
not
running,
real.
yeah, we are running a kind of lopsided system in Nigeria. I'll give you an example. About 3 weeks ago, I was going around somewhere in Quarry Road and I saw a police pickup van belonging to a very popular police division in Abeokuta. And the car, the Hilux van developed a fault, and the van was there for more than 48 hours, broken down in the middle of the road. That is to tell you, nothing has changed. When I, as a person, was campaigning for APC and President Buhari in 2015, all I believe that the moment we have May 29, 2015, so many things are just going to be happening naturally that will be different from what we've been experiencing in the last 16 years then. But things remain the same, even to some extent getting worse at the national level. That is why I said I am rating to Governor Amosun above any other governor right now, even the governors that have more resources than Ogun State. By the way, I will tell you that in 2019, all of us are going to witness a status quo of what we've been experiencing in the past. Nothing is going to change because the platform, the apparatus for our political activities has not changed in any way. We're still, no matter how well intentioned, the politicians are usually going to promise you El Dorado, but by the time they get to power, they will tell you they still have legislators that will not allow them the free will to do this, and they will still be giving excuses until we do the needful. Either it's going to be restructuring, whether it's going to be resource control, so many other issues that has been hindering. Let me give you this example. If things has changed, we shouldn't be having so many of those issues we've been complaining about since 1999 till date still happening in Nigeria. Nothing has changed. So third force is not going to bring any change in Nigeria. It's just the assemblage of politicians to just, get themselves another container or another bottle to just get themselves into office. Yes, with the same content.
Okay, now in Ogun State, in other words, are you saying that we do not need a third force or a third dominant party?
If the opposition parties, if they are well grounded and they are well intended, I don't see a need for third force. Do you see any group coming around in Ogun State to metamorphose into a political party? Look at the time frame. That is why I said I don't see any sincerity of purpose in this third force and all the coinage they are coming about with. I've read so many things about so many organizations, and I've got so many invitations from different groups. All I do is get there and start looking and monitoring things the way it is. But my findings has made me realize that everything has always been the same old ways. So any group, any organization that got my consent to be, part of them in whatever way during meetings, I just sit back and watch. Because nothing has changed, really.
There are reports that the SDP, the Social Democratic Party, as it is, it's going to be the destination or the vehicle for this third force, okay. And this movement that has been launched by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the CNM, okay. Coalition for a New Nigeria. Okay. Coalition for Nigeria movement, that is it, CNM. Now, is that going to constitute a major challenge to the ruling party APC and the PDP?
Not in any way. Let me give you this scenario.
Are you sure?
Let me tell you this. In 2015, when we were waiting for the list of President Muhammadu Buhari, list of ministers and government appointees, we believed that we are going to have an entirely brand new set of people But we were surprised when the list of ministers were given out and we start seeing the likes of Rotimi Amechi, these, that, former governors, former ministers, who has failed woefully at different times in their responsibility as far as politics is concerned. So tell me the difference. Tell me the angel you are seeing among these people parading themselves as the third force. Then you will be able to answer the question you are putting before me conveniently.
Now, you said that some people believe that, okay, the two parties might be difficult to be a platform for change and re-election in 2019. So
Okay.
if these two parties are not going to be a very strong, what do you call it? Is it will be a strong platform that people will quickly resonate with,
Okay.
and then jump on
Okay.
to give their mandate.
Okay.
That means that they are going to be looking for an alternative.
Okay.
Now, the question I asked earlier, I'm going to repeat it. Are you saying that the SDP, for example,
Okay.
or this coalition for Nigeria movement,
Okay.
CNM, is not going to be an alternative that the people will be looking at?
That is why I said politicians are coming around to bamboozle people again. The vote of the people are very much likely to swing to the side of whatever new party that comes on board, because we will say this, the politicians or the political class has studied the body language and the psyche of millions of Nigerians. They believe that once you have a liquid a drink or something, when you want to rebrand, you just find another name. Even if you leave the container to be remain, the same shape and size, but just look for another color to just. That is what the politicians are doing. Like I asked you earlier, there's no new, there's no neutral, there's no neutrality among these people that are coming around, parading themselves as the people behind this third force. They just want to wrestle power. They just want to get back to the political landscape. They just want to get back to power. They just want to come up again and become relevant and continue their old ways of doing things, the way it's been done that we have been condemning. That's what I keep telling people, because nothing has changed. There's no way. What are the parameters that you can use to judge that in 2019 things are going to be different from what we are experiencing now? But I believe the 2019, even if we don't have new brand set of people holding power, we will have a very more politically wiser Nigerians, because nothing is going to change. I keep saying.
Are you sure that they are becoming wiser and matured?
By 2019 we should be able to. It's going to be very unfortunate if by 2019 another election is coming and we are still having this, set of old people parading themselves as bringing change to us.
If the so-called old people and
my old is not in terms of age now. Yes,
I understand quite well. And if the politicians are strategizing and coming up with different kinds of ideas in order to be able to get into power again or get the hold of power, what do you think about the electorate? Do you see the electorate actually prepared or preparing themselves even for the challenges ahead?
Even right now you can say how things are going to turn out in 2019, because the political class has actually studied the body language like I told you. So they are just going to up their game in winning or win the electorate. If they are giving them 100 naira in 2015, they will just make it 2,000 naira, and you will see what things and what money can do in terms of election results is concerned.
So obviously the electorate are still not seeing what is coming.
They are not seeing, despite the effort of some organizations, some groups to try to educate and enlighten the electorate, that your life does not depend on a Congo of rice, on an exercise book, on pen, on granulated sugar and granite oil and the rest of it that they brandish to your household, that you will eat, that will not sustain you even for up to 48 hours, that you are going to now sell your vote to people of dicey character and intentions. So nothing has actually changed. We are still feeling. You can just go around anywhere and bring up the topic of or issue of 2019. Then you will start hearing what people are going to be saying. That is the best way to gauge public opinion about whatever you are thinking of as far as 2019 is concerned.
All right. Now let's talk about the issue of personality or individuals and political parties being the game changer. You recall vividly. It was not about a party when former Governor Benga Daniel came in and swept a lot of people off their feet in 2003.
Yeah.
Fresh face, fresh name.
Yeah.
He had all the swag. He had all the mien of a new leader, a new face, a new breed of politician, very charismatic, and we felt, oh, this is a breath of fresh air. And then he swept off everybody and came into power, spent 8 years in power. In 2007, Senator Bikulamuso contested against him and lost in court. All right, now, it was not about a party that Senator Bikulamuso ran on. He used the ANPP,
Yeah.
and he lost. All right, now in 2011, he ran against a ruling party and a serving governor who had his own protege to present, and he won resoundingly.
Yeah.
All right, now that's it's almost like history repeating itself.
So,
Now, this incumbent governor spent 8 years and is trying to also look for someone that can carry out or carry on his good and lofty ideas and dreams, which a lot of people agree with. But there are people who do not agree with that. Now, is it going to be the same scenario like we had in the past, where it is if the people are not looking at the party, a third force or a third party that can actually get there, will it be a case of another personality, an individual that people have already resonated with and they have already fallen in love with, and they are just going to follow him wherever he goes, even if he decides to run on the platform of Jagudu Jara party, they are just going to follow him wherever he goes, and then that will change the game.
We've experienced what you just painted now so many times in Nigeria. But I can tell you that 2019 is going to just level up the level of acceptability of Governor Ibikunle Amosun. I will tell you this. You can see a lot of things, a lot of projects are still very much ongoing. When Senator Ibikunle Amosun started some gigantic road project, bridges, roads, people were like, are you sure this guy is going to take this thing beyond the next 3 or 4 months? Could it be the fact that he's just trying to bamboozle us? But the guy is still moving. So if people are very, very, very much concerned about the development, then it will just give us the leverage of the number of people that are very much well-intended, well-intentioned, and well-meaning as far as Ogun State is concerned. People are beginning to get away from the premise of, okay, bring what is there for us, let us share. This man is not sharing. Yoruba will say "Anumo for one nule." Not that some things are not just falling off and as crumbs for some people, but more of capital projects are still ongoing. And I'll keep telling people that these are the things that will change the face of this particular state. So when we now have more of people that are thinking in these guys, even if Governor Ibikunle Amosun should bring a toddler with the level of development, Governor Ibikunle Amosun has a lot to do. I will advise him not to rest on his oars yet, though it's less than a year to election. So we should just continue allowing things to happen the way it is, and I'm sure he will not want to in any way let me say, kill that ambition of having a successor. So he's still very much doing what he's doing so well, and I'm sure that is endearing him more, and people will believe that there's going to be continuity. It is a very, very sad truth in Nigeria that no matter how laudable, no matter how lofty the idea of a previous administration is, any government that takes over will try as much as possible to either abandon or neglect whatever achievement the previous administration could have gotten. But in this very particular era, it is going to be difficult for somebody to come now. Maybe Governor Ibikunle Amosun did not complete the Lafenwa Ayetoro Road, something, and a governor will now come and we abandon that kind of a project. So we are going to see a lot of things that are going to be lived upon as far as Ogun State is concerned in 2019. People are going to vote in the line of the development and what they are seeing in Ogun State. Ogun State is a peculiar case as far as this election period is concerned, and that peculiarity is going to continue to manifest even beyond 2019.
Do you believe people vote based on how they feel at a particular moment? I will quickly explain what I mean by that.
Okay.
There are people who are always basking in the euphoria of, oh, a new face has come. This is going to be a change, a break from the norm. We love his face, we love his charisma and all that. And then they put that same person there, and 2 years down the line, they are getting tired of that person. Now, what I'm trying to say is that people get tired of who they love at first without even that person either wrong, doing any wrong in any big way. For example, they just get tired of that person. I just want a new person. Do you think that is going to happen in 2019, despite what you have talked about the ruling party or the governor? Are they just going to vote that, oh, I'm just tired of seeing his tall cap. I was tired of seeing somebody who is who is constructing roads and bridges and carrying out some very gigantic projects.
Apart from his tall cap, we have just enumerated some of his achievements around, and people will still people are believing that things are changing in Ogun State. And these are the things that will bring development. I was here in 2016 or something, talking about the infrastructural development and the benefit of this road expansion. And I was able to tell you that even the callers, they were syncing with the style of governance of this particular government in Ogun State, because they are no more very much fascinated about rice and beans and monies and things like that, because Ogun State has so many potentials that should be able to make Ogun State envy of all the states in Nigeria. Apart from our proximity to the largest economy in Africa, Lagos State, we have so many other things that could be harnessed to give us more development. And in that line is what this current administration is doing. We are going to be able to measure what people actually want if and when Governor Ibikunle Amosun is able to get a success.
But Deji Ogundimu, I may disagree with you if you say that people are not concerned about bags of rice or beans or groundnut oil or crumbs of cash that politicians throw around. Because you and I know that there are candidates who are already going about with such. Not only that they are necessarily endearing themselves to the people with their talks, with their plans and all that, but they are spending money. All right, and that same money is what some people have accused the governor of not spending for them. Do you understand? So the governor is diverting this monies
into projects,
rightly so, into projects instead of distributing, so to speak, to party chieftains, to political appointments, to the people, as it were, or the so-called very important people in the state, and then he's championing projects. Now, people are not happy with that, and so they are moving. Some people, okay, and they are tilting towards somebody who can do that, who is now giving them succor. All right, so they feel abandoned by the governor, and so they are tilting towards somebody who is doing that for now. Now, so don't you think that is why they vote for a particular candidate, because of their belly?
Okay. The stomach infrastructure.
The stomach infrastructure now coming into play.
Let me now give you a closed-door neighborhood comparison. Look at Lagos State. Despite the power, the amount of money and resources available to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Senator Bola Tinubu made it impossible for Lagos to be thwarted. And why? He was able to deliver on so many things as far as what people will see. Gone are the days when the government will just tell you they are establishing some flat parastatals, Ministry of Happiness, Ministry of Womenhood, Ministry of Ludo and Draft Society and stuff like that. The people are beginning to see that they have failed in so many ways to, getting people bamboozled. That was why Governor Tinubu was able to hold and still holding Lagos up till now. if Governor Amosun can continue with this aspect of physical development, people are not stupid. A lot of people are disenchanted, like you have said. A lot of people are concerned about what comes to their pocket. They don't care, even if there's no road, if there's no water. They just want to eat amala and whatever now. And
For the now.
For the now. But people are beginning. More younger people are beginning to see, despite their, their parents, campaign of calumny against the current government. People are beginning to see. You need to see the number of outfits, number of businesses by either Chinese or other foreign nationals in Ogun State. I don't want to start mentioning now because I'm not here for that. But development is already in Ogun State everywhere. It's not only in Abeokuta. I'm a realtor and I'm into property business. I visit so many locations. Sometimes when I go to some very remotest part of Ogun State and I see the presence of some, I don't want to mention nationalities now, I marvel because I wonder what they could be doing there. No ants, no fly will go to a dry land. It's either there's a spill of honey or milk or somewhere. So that is happening, and people should begin to see. More people are beginning to see that governance goes beyond brandishing of money and gift around. Ogun State is changing, and Governor Amosun is doing that so well. If he continues like he has said, like he's continuing, he's not saying it. We are saying the continuity in terms of infrastructural development. If he continues like that, he will continue to endear his party or whatever party that is going to be. It's not impossible for come around now another party, but as far as Governor Amosun is concerned and his developmental prowess, he's going to continue endearing himself to
now let's
people,
mark the
no matter what people say.
Let's mark the difference between what the people need and what the people want. Okay. What exactly do you think the people want?
Okay.
Let's not even talk about what they need now.
Okay.
But what do you think the people want?
Okay. To a very large extent, people want immediate satisfaction. People want immediate brims to their hungry stomach. But it is the responsibility of every well-meaning Nigerians to keep telling people at all levels, not only in Ogun State alone, that they should, as much as possible, try to invest their need or their hunger now. They should try and endure it for a more freer and more bountiful feast that is already being put in place.
Now, when we talked about the issue of third foes, or when the issue of third foes came up, many actually thought that, okay, it would be a kind of group that would enlighten the people and help them to actually hit at what they should hit at, or make them see what they will, what they should actually see with regards to 2019 general election. Now, from your own view, it seems what you're saying it's totally different from what many had thought about the third force. Okay, now let's see, how do you think, now that you're saying that the third force will naturally be there for the people to put them through, who do you think, or what, no, not who now, what do you think the people can latch on to be able to see what they need to see and be able to get what they need to get come 2019?
Orientation, self-development, thinking, deep thought. Let everybody begin to sit down and think that the money or the food or the staples that I'm going to be, collecting from politicians now, I keep telling people, if you collect rice and beans and whatever now, after 4 years, as that rice and beans maintained or develop your road in your neighborhood, as that changed those facilities, as that improved the facility in your medical center or medical facilities around your community in any way. So we should begin to appreciate if for the very first time governance is shifting to the premise of real governance, apart from feed and stomach infrastructure politics that has been previously played by people. People should begin to sit down and think that what will be the benefit of all this. A lot of things has been said about what is going on in Ogun State as far as development is concerned. But I keep telling people that it is this development that will bring the type of development that everybody will now have a sense of belonging, a sense of fulfillment, as far as being a citizen of Ogun State is concerned, because we are now beaming our searchlight in Ogun State as far as thought force is concerned.
All right.
I've got so many things to say in the national
All
level,
right.
but let's restrict it to Ogun State.
We'll definitely, because we'll have more time to do that after the national news. Of course, calculation is still ongoing, and of course, as you're calculating, Northern Nigerians, other electorates are calculating, the politicians are calculating. But we'll continue after the national news. All right, we'll go on a short break now for the national news. We will be back. More to come. Please stay tuned.
All right, so you're welcome back. This is Citizens Forum on the Daybreak Show. If you're just joining us and you had a part of the show earlier, what we are looking at this morning is focusing on Ogun State. 2019 elections is around the corner, and we are asking, do we have a need for a third force? A lot of people are making a case for a third force to take over the reins of government and power in the state. Does it mean that the APC and the PDP have failed as alternative platforms? Is it that the other small parties, excuse my word, small, uh, are not good enough to actually challenge the dominant parties? We have at the studio a public affairs analyst and a public commentator, Deji Ogundimu, who said earlier that he believes that the proposal of a third force is nothing but a charade. He believes that it will not actually amount to anything different. It will not present any kind of change, and it is nothing but a vehicle for politicians to grab power through another means or through the back door. He believes that it is not anything different from politicians congregating in another container, and the content is still the same. The Jogudimu, before we allow people and their contributions on the show, let me quickly have this finality as regards your submission. With your submission, it appears that what you're saying, in essence, is that the ruling party, the APC, will still be in power after the 2019 governorship election, and the anointed candidate of the incumbent Senator Bukulamuso will be occupying the governor's office in Okemoso in 2019.
That is if people are actually showing concern for real development. Because in terms of development, I will not mince word to say Governor Amosun is scoring 75% as far as development and governance is concerned in the state. There's no perfect government in any part of the world. I keep saying that. Governor Amosun is never a perfect governor or a perfect human being. Definitely with shortcomings and so many other things that some people will just feel uncomfortable with. But having said that, this is the first time we are having a non-stop in the 90s to early 2000s. The complaint has been no road, no water, no this, no that. For the very first time, for more than 3 consecutive years, we are witnessing infrastructural mega development across the state. And if people, according to their complaint previously, are now witnessing this, that is the reason, that is the yardstick, that is the parameter by which I am saying that Governor Amosun's successor is very much likely to have the day come 2019.
Okay, we will throw open the studio lines for you to be part of this discussion. 0809 8687344 or 0909 You can also reach us via the short code 32120, or you have to just type rock ROCK, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. At Rock City FM is our Twitter handle, and Rock City FM 11.9 is a fan page on Facebook.
We start off with the calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is Pastor Aghemerio from Ayetoro. I greet everybody in the house there.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. Please, I want to comment on what your people in the house is saying. definitely I appreciate Dr. Amosu for what he's been doing. But on the other hand, I think it's not proper for you to rob Peter and pay Paul. Because people that are working, people that are retired, workers, they don't collect their deductions. Retirees don't collect their gratuity. You see, and I want people to know that percentage of workforce, what percentage they control in the community is more larger. And what I mean is that those that rely on them. So, simply said, when you say he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing all that, yes. There's nobody can do everything. Whenever he's going now, when he'll be going next year, there will still be some things in Ogun State that he has not taught. It is automatic. Nobody can contest that. But it's just now. We do a deficit for the next governor coming. The gratuity, the same thing. So the families of these people, the generality of Ogun State, is complaining. I'm trying to say it. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Hello? Hello? 08.
Mario. Good morning, Tobi.
Good morning.
My friend in the house, Deji Ogundimu.
Good morning,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah, we have you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes,
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, Deji Ogundimu. Good morning. I say it again.
Good morning, sir.
You have blown my mind this morning. If I had to pinch myself, am I listening very well? You are saying the truth, and the truth will set us free. As a common man in the street, there is no vacancy in Oaikhenan or any other party apart from APC. So also is the national. There's no vacancy. Actually, it's not vacant yet. Maybe in 2026. And the moment we sit down and ruminate on all these things, the better for us. 10 first, 10 first, those are just paper tigers. They have nothing in the grassroots to show. I've gone to the Southwest, I've gone to Ibadan, I've gone to somewhere in Osun, and they were killing Jebe. That is this week, another form of right. So those things don't really, I'm happy to dismiss it with the wave of the hand. They don't have anything to do because they have nothing to offer us. And they have certificate to surpass what we are having now. It's a pity that we are having what we are having now. Yes, APC can never be and would never be 100%. But we can see evidence that people are trying to move forward. We can see people attempting to do something and say, no, we cannot go this. We can see people trying to cleanse themselves of what is going on. What do we want more than that? People are saying, mostly not paying salaries and all that. The PDP before it were paying salaries and gratuity. What are we talking about? I think we are not in this stage. They are robbing Peter to people. They don't robbing.
All right, Tom, you have about 15 seconds more to go.
You know very well. We didn't give you 100%, 75%. That's what Ogundimu said. 75%. That is a very, very, in fact, what we call the A1 and all that.
All right.
But they have to sit down and re-strategize. There's a lot more to do.
Dr. Okom, your time is up.
There is no vacancy in Oaikhenan.
Your time is up.
That's all. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Hello. Good morning.
Deji Ogundimu, I greet you. I salute you.
Good morning, Mr. Kadu.
Good morning. You see, you have given your pass mark for my governor. I voted for him. I voted for the person at the top, which is President Buhari. But let me say this. You see, when people fail or are failing, we need to give them the right mark. You have given the mark that probably comes out of your heart or mind. But I will give my mark at the tail end of my take this morning. You see, if the act is dull and its edge unsharpened, more strength is needed, but skill will bring success. Yes, I think I can now say that we have vacancy in Oaikhenan, and I don't know yet of Abuja. But the major thing I have observed in Governor Amosu over the years, somebody mentioned, and that is in the spirit of dehumanizing and which foster dependence and robbing individuals of the experiences of creative development. People are not creative any longer just because somebody thought that he owns everybody, and that is Governor Amosu for you. I will say it loud and clear. Let me tell you, we have become products of oppression in the hand of Mr. Governor. Timidity is there, lack of self-confidence is probably trailing every now and then in the hearts of many people, many of us. I imagine that in education, I will score him 1/10, in health, 1/10, in power. Yeah, even in that power I want to talk about. Let me ask.
But Lumide.
Those generators
Hello.
that are
Hello, Lumide.
Hello?
Lumide.
Yes.
You are taking this topic and twisting it to mean scoring Governor Ibukulamuso. What we are looking at is whether there is a need for a third force. Can you give your verdict on that, please?
Yes, there is a need for a third force.
Okay. Why do you think there is a need?
There is a need because Madam asked for the needs. We have discovered the needs of wants of the people. And I believe that most of the wants of the people are being put at the back of at the background to look after infrastructure that is only being found in Abeokuta alone. Go elsewhere. I saw Yabubo, I saw elsewhere. Most of these roads are bad, completely in the net. And we are saying that infrastructure is the only thing that Mr. Governor should do for us. It's not good. It is not done anywhere in the world. And why must they come to campaign for infrastructure every now and then? Have we not been traveling outside Nigeria or anywhere else to see, to visit places where all these things are on ground, where they don't need even to probably ask for this and that from individuals of the electorate? See, let me say this finally before I drop my. It is now needed that we need individuals to determine the fate. Individual electorate will determine the fate of individual politicians come 2019. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Kade Olumide. All right, we'll take more calls. Hello.
Good morning. My name is Lawa. Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Whether we need a third force or the wise, I think first and foremost, let me put this very straight, and let me say the truth, nothing but the truth. Saying that vacancy, I think that's a mistake. There is vacancy in Okemoson, vacancy as well. So whether we need a third force or otherwise, yes, again, we need third force. Enough of this. Hello.
Yes, go ahead. We are with you. Hello. We are with you.
Look at the political terrain in let's use Ogun State as a case study. We've seen the best of this present administration. We've seen the one that came before him. We've seen one that was, investing in human capital, and he did his best about lifting the infrastructure in the society. We have seen another one presently, investing in capital projects that ought to go for 4 years and it's been extended for 8 years. And at the end of the day, we are seeing a unit, family, enriching themselves. So, saying this, I think it will amount to a mistake. There's vacancy in Okemoson. It's definitely, we are going to change the change. That is this, 2019. We need the third force, and we're expecting the best again. We want to relent, we want to be tired of being hopeful.
What will you be looking? What will you be looking at in electing that third force?
Thank you. What I'll be looking at as a person is an individual. At times you may have to settle for the political party, but when you see the political party is not giving the hope that is needed,
yes,
individual like in form of a dependent candidate will go for it, and they will change the status quo from where it is, whereby bad brother junior ones will control the wealth of this. Enough of making Abeokuta the developing aspect of the whole state. It's not supposed to cut across. It is Ogun State, not Abeokuta State.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's how many callers already? 4. Let's take one more. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, you're on air. Good morning.
My name is Abdul
Your name again?
Olamilekon.
Abdul Gafar Olamilekon, yes.
That's what I want to agree with your guest very much. He has analyzed his best of knowledge. Let me say that it's not outside. No doubt about that. When it comes to security negotiation, he has done well. When it comes to social roads, bridges, and there, he has done well. No doubt about that. When we see the right thing, let's say the right thing. But it's lacking in some aspects. That is the reality. I'm very sure you must have attended that. What you are talking about this morning is comes to Nigeria. There is no two ways to be less distant with each other. If the government is choosing a successor, that successor must be at the interest of the people of the state. That's what you should know. You cannot choose a successor with your own interest. It will not work. If you want people to go in line with you, once they have good aspirations, then you must be ready to choose your successor within the midst of the people. You must go along with the people. You must flow with the people. And nobody is here has not tried. That's right. Let's do the capacity. I've already said it. If any government come into power, I'm not against any government. If you do the right, I will say you do that. And if you do the wrong thing, I will criticize you. I will only advise him. Be very cautious in choosing successor. Or else you will lose. And also his party will go away. To choose successor that we the people of the state want. We the people of the state want. That will continue with that spirit even higher than the one they are doing. And they will have their way. But failure to do that, they forget. Of course, now they have said it. Great people in the have said it. Okay, also is vacant. The vacant is okay for yes, I know. Another thing also, I think I've seen the list. So long. So that's just the issue.
Thank you, Abdul Gafar Olamilekon, for your contribution. All right, thank you. God bless you. All right, we'll just wait a minute and allow our guest, Deji Ogundimu, to quickly take on the questions.
I would like to start from Mr. Israel Bello from Ayetoro. He said he appreciated Governor Amoson's work, and he mentioned some areas of governance where Governor Amoson is lacking and some other things he thinks should be addressed as far as the state is concerned. He mentioned workers' deduction, salaries, and some areas of governance being neglected. I'll quickly say something on that. Like I said in my submission, and what I kept telling people, there's no perfect government anywhere. And if a particular governor comes around and concentrates his efforts and energy and resources on a particular sector of the state or economy, I think government is continuous, and any other governor coming into the state should be able to work more on other areas. Dr. Ebenezer Ankom from Ashero is in consonance with my submission about the development of the state through the Governor Amoson's infrastructural development. Kyle Olumide also mentioned that there's vacancy in Okemoson and he scored the governor below average, and he mentioned why he believes another person or another party should be allowed to come on board. Lawal also said there's vacancy in Okemoson, and he said there's need for a third force. Abdul Gafar Olalekan mentioned that there's Governor Amoson is lacking in some developmental trips and is neglecting some areas of governance. He also asked the governor to be cautious of choosing a successor. I will just summarize all this into saying something that is very, very, very important that we must all take into consideration. Let me put Ogun State, or let me liken Ogun State to a stage for an event, or a venue, so to say, for an event. If a particular venue is chosen for a particular event, the venue will need so many things to have a befitting event, whatsoever the event could be. By the time the event venue is well planned and well developed, so many other things. If a particular person, as the governor, believes that, okay, Ogun State is an event venue now, and he believes the event venue needs more than about 50 or 200,000 seater capacity venue, and another person believes, okay, before we begin the venue, let us put provisions, let's make provision for conveniences. Let us look for some people that will come for the event. Some people will need some food. Some people will want to relax in the course of the event, depending on the hour that the event is going to take. Some people will just come on board and say, okay, Governor Amosun or this particular governor has done this much. We can put this, and add to it. It's not that we are trying to give the governor a blank check as far as choosing a successor is concerned. I'm sure we should all know that Ogun State across other southwest states is beginning to shine and represent the southwest as the bedrock of development in so many ways. I kept saying this. It is unfortunate this time around that I will be saying that people should try as much as possible to shun sentiment as far as development is concerned. Go to Lagos. People are mentioning Lagos. And the real Lagos that we will say is Lagos Island, Ikoyi, and the rest of it. Ikoyi, Lagos Island, Victoria Island are the major developmental hub in the 60s to the late 2000s. That is where concentration of development, that is where so many efforts and resources of Lagos State were centered. It is through all these places that we have 95 to 98% of what is called Lagos now. Go to Ogun State, go to the neighboring areas between Lagos and Ogun State. People are still living in Ipafu and still work in the Victoria Island, Ikoyi, and other axes of Lagos. That is where concentration is. If Abeokuta is developed, it is not a crime. It is not a crime that the state capital is being concentrated with development. By the time the development is beginning to manifest, then we will have people living in Ilaro, in Ayetoro, in every part of the state, coming to work in Abeokuta through means of part of the development of the state government is trying to put its brace, and the federal government is the rail transport system. People can live anywhere. Every concentration, every development has to be at the capital city. There's no two way about that. And we should not try to pretend as if we don't know the importance of a state capital. It is unfortunate that people still continue to belabor themselves on issue of concentrating in Abeokuta. You cannot live. Look at the analysis I gave about Lagos State. Go to Lagos State. You cannot compare the development in VI, Ikoyi, Lekki, Ajah, and the rest of it to other areas. Infrastructural development are beginning to now go to other areas apart from the island. But first and foremost, the Lagos Island was the best part of Lagos State, even up till today. If another governor should come to Lagos State today, they will still concentrate their effort and development at the major areas that represent Lagos State. That is where people that will bring development, bring investment, bring business, that is where they will first visit. I don't see an American company coming to Nigeria now and decide to put their business in Lagos State and go and put the business in Yanopaja or Meiron. They will still want to put the development at the center of attraction, and that is what Abeokuta is. We should shun sentiment and embrace developmental projects. It is Abeokuta development that will now concentrate and bring development that will translate to other areas of the state. I am not a politician, and that is not what we are here for today. If anybody believes I have any affiliation or connection with any political party, I'm a public person. The person should just say it the way they see it. So we should just be away from sentiment and embrace and encourage for the very first time a governor that is coming on board to take Ogun State away from the civil servant state. And look at the number of people. Go to other places, go to places. You will see expatriates, you will see foreigners coming around to do little business that will transform the state and employ people and get people on board and get them their source of livelihood.
All right, we have to turn to the tweets and messages. So now we have a couple of them here.
But before we do that, can we just pick a call? Just one call.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Hello?
The lines are buzzing, actually.
Serious one.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Tobi.
Good morning.
Good morning, Aghemerio. Yes, in the studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Wahid Quadri.
Hello.
Yes, we are with you.
Yes, good morning, guests in the studio.
Good morning, Mr. Wahid Quadri.
From Abeokuta. Yeah, thank you very much. I want to appreciate you too. You have spoken very, very well. and you have told us what we know. It is not as if what you are saying is extraordinary or they are mirage. They are what we can all see. We can all see development that is being put up by this government in Ogun State here. Like you said, sentiments are there. We have a whole lot of people that are not pleased with this man because of some certain issues. Well, I'm not surprised that some things are coming from certain people because of the effect of the policies in the state, in where they belong to. That is the issue. Like Mapoli now, Mapoli is having, I will not say they're having issues, but because the place has been upgraded to university, and some people are not pleased, especially some of the people who are working there, and they know they cannot merit working in the university, so they will have problem with them. So and a whole lot of sentiment like that. But by and large, we all know that this man has done excellently well in the state, because we are here in this state since 1999, and what we are witnessing now, we have not witnessed it in the last 16 years in Ogun State. That as far as thought force is concerned, I don't think we need any thought force. What this present administration is doing at the federal level, before the administration came in, what we're having is nothing but a reverse. Now, what the man is trying to do is to stop the vehicle. Nigeria is like a vehicle putting in a reverse gear. But the man has tried now to say, okay, this vehicle, don't go back again. No, the gear should be moved from the reverse to a kind of neutral. Stay forth, put it in a gear one, and let us see what we can do. And gradually, I think we are moving in this country. So that does it. The pace may be slow because of the problem we're having, a whole lot of things. But I think we are moving. We are not in a reverse gear again. We are moving gradually, and I think we will be there. About the thought force, I don't think we need any thought force for now. Let us see how we can consolidate on what this administration is doing, and see how we continue to be on their neck to do what we want for us.
Right.
So I think that is what we need.
Thank you for your call, Wahid Kodri. Let's take one more, and then we'll go to the messages.
Okay, that
Hello?
was a just call there. That was a just call. Hello? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, this is Daji.
Okay.
I greet the man in the house. He has spoken well. And that's the mind of forward-looking people. You will discover that in this state, people are, I don't know, too much infrastructure of a thing should be jettisoned. The thing is, when development comes, you discover that it will get to everybody. Everybody will have something to do. And talking about development in the state capital, I think some people are getting it wrong. When you develop the state capital, that will bring some investors that will be now directed to other areas of the state. I think we should just give kudos to this present government. He has done very well. The only thing we are clamoring for is to have continuity, just like the man in the house said, so that the developmental program can further continue. And I want to say that I want to admonish whoever is coming next to look at the area of developing the suburb, like Kobakwe area or Oba area. If you exchange low-cost houses to those areas, definitely people will live around that place and come and work in Abeokuta. I think these are some of the things that every right-thinking person should look at. Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Can we just take some messages?
Let's add the messages and tweets to this, and then you react. How do we ask people to continue to make sacrifices and to shun stomach infrastructure when the leaders and their cronies are getting fatter and acquiring choice properties here and there openly with impunity? Is that not wickedness and insensitivity to other people's suffering? Kayode from Amola Show sent in that message. Abolade from Abeokuta says, good morning to you all in the studio. Please, I want you to rate PNB's performance in all sectors. Have a nice day. Well, that's not a topic for today. That'll be a topic for another day. Good morning, our guest. A government that cannot guarantee 3 basic needs is not fit to be there. A lot of unpaid months of deductions, accumulated leave bonuses, My brother, first things first, what is road construction to an hungry man? One man, one must not affect the other. Lagos case is different from civil servants in Lagos, cannot be compared to Ogun State. Okay, no, that is wrong. Okay, Lagos case is different. Civil servants in Lagos cannot be compared to Ogun State. That's what you meant, Raphael from Camp. Thank you for your message, Raphael. Ikechukwu Lisa says 2019 is around the corner and our politicians are beginning to play the game they know how to play very well. Sir, you have spoken very well. Although it sounds as if you are campaigning for a ruling party. My question is, why is it that whenever a governor wants to leave office, he would like to impose a person that will succeed him in that office? Or don't you think they do that to cover their debts? All right, that's Ikechukwu Lisa asking that question. The tweets, you have Tunde Kafidipe. The incumbent government has done so much good for the generality of the populace of Ogun State, more than any preceding it. Posterity will remain a judge, and no matter who wins next elections, history will always remind us of where we are now and where we are coming from. Kunle Gab. Okay. Our land, yes, are opened. We have a better understanding of the politicking going on in Ogun State. We can no longer be deceived. Project. Do you think we will vote for the party that have completely abandoned senior citizens? Development at the expense of some other people and other needs? Let's not deceive ourselves. People are complaining. That's Kunle Gab. Leo Leshola Rewaju says, don't tell us that Ogun State government will not finish those projects started, because no new government will finish abandoned project. If Ogun State government knows that they can't finish this project for 8 years, why did they start it? Ogun people are not fools. All right, and this is from Olu Emmanuel. I disagree with you, Mr. Deji. Governor Musu's concentration is in Abeokuta. The quality of work done in other places are below par. Alright, Olu Emmanuel continued. Please check Ota, Songo, and the two bridges in Ijebu-Ode. They are not good jobs. Let's tell the governor the truth. We need a third force. Okay, Mr. Motwit, you have to react to this. Kunle Gab, Brother G, please don't tell me that you have become the spokesperson for the Ogun State governor. Let's wait and see what happens in 2019. All right, Leo Leshiela Raju says, white people do say that do your best and leave the rest. Thanks. Yemi Phyllis Da Vinci says, 2019 Ogun State poll, we have many parameters to look into. On one side is Governor Musum's performance. He has passed so well. He has done so well and passed in infrastructure and nowhere else. People are asking if it is roads, they will chop. 2. There is also the disenchantment with the governor in his own party, which has led to schism, with some allegedly now loyal to a certain out-of-state senator. PDP has its own internal squabbles with no end in sight. Thus, can a third force make a way to Okemoso? 3. I agree with Deji Ogundimu. This whole third force noise reminds me of Femi Kuti's song, Dembobo. It is a ruse to get back political power by the same set of people who have repeatedly failed to better the living standards of Nigerians. I believe a third force is the best option for Ogun State in 2019 because I don't see what Ogun State needs in all the candidates of the two major political parties. Can a third force win? I think it's possible. Those are tweets from Yemi Da Vinci. We have another one here from Kunle Gab. Third force. This is how Baba deceived us in 2015 that brought this backward change into more poverty and hunger, change into more violence. That's still Kunle Gab. Brother G, please, are you saying it's only Abeokuta that gives Ogun State relevance and attract people to the state? It's a pity. Ogundare Sunday says, third force or no third force? Who are the people that will make up the third force? Do you mean the same people that bastardized our democracy? Leo Leshola Rewaju says, Ogun people need more than roads. What about educational development, medical care, and job opportunities for the people? of the state. Ismail Oloyede says the 2019 election in Ogun State will likely be a contest between the APC and the APC. And by that, I mean neither the so-called third force nor the PDP can wrestle power from the APC as far as the journey to Okemoso is concerned. However, effective crisis management within the APC is key. Alright, so that's the tweet we have for now.
All right, that's what we have for now, but let's quickly also check the WhatsApp,
okay, the WhatsApp yes.
messages we have here. And we got this one from Azim Kunle Ashimi. Third force, 100th force. No one yet is putting forward an ideology. Since there is no ideology, all are the same, and so cross-carpeting from one party to another means nothing. On the other hand, if we don't get it right and our youth continue to run to Europe, they should prepare for the worst. Europe is being taken over by rightist ideologists. America is in the hands already. And we got this one from Azim Kunle Ashimi reacting to people who want immediate satisfaction to their hunger. We need to educate them that they may need to be hungry. Okay, that's by reacting to some of the things Ogundimu said. And he says, your voice cannot be louder than those who want to unleash chaos because of what they have lost in the recent past. They would rather instigate the masses to think that government is run by fear and that the federal government can will or wish things to change by a magic wand. Of course, the people have been hungry for too long and would rather believe those fanning their impatience than you. And we got this from Arabambi1. How and where did Deji get his marking schemes? Okay, I would like a joint appearance with him on this if the time permits. Unfortunately, time will not permit us to do that.
Time won't permit. Let me just add this to the messages also. Yemi Felix Da Vinci said, we are already seeing ripples that some in Ogun APC will jump ship to actualize their ambition, especially since there is the fear the party primaries will be a selection, not an election. This will split their votes and give a third force another edge. To me, the blatant failure Governor Musa has recorded in the areas of inner city roads, housing, health, and education are going to be what the third force will use to campaign against his anointed candidate. Amuso's anointing may be a poisoned chalice. Any candidate of the third force who can give us a workable, cheap plan to solve the perennial shortage of water in Ogun State will have my vote and resources. We should be ashamed as a people that municipal water remains a mirage. Okay, those are tweets from Yemi Phillips Da Vinci. Because of our time, I won't be able to go on. There are so many tweets and messages. Deji Ogundimu, you want to quickly react to these issues?
Definitely the responses of people are very much expected, and like I always tell people, is either you see a cup half full or half empty. And I'll keep saying this, we should not forget the fact that the normal practice, even in our own individual homes and activities, we try as much as possible to make our anteroom very, very attractive. If anybody is coming into your house or apartment, your living room should be a darling of every visitor to your house. And by the time they see so many things fascinating in your sitting room or your office, let me put it that way, that is when they are going to sit down comfortably to discuss whatever they want to discuss with you, with an ease of mind that definitely they are in the right place to do business. And that is what is happening in Abeokuta right now. We have roads and other responsibilities that are being taken care of by private organizations in Lagos State. I've lived in Lagos State and I know what I'm talking about as far as that is concerned. So by the time we have a befitting scene for a particular event, that is when we will have more people coming for that event. An event in this context is people coming to Ogun State to do business. Anybody's point of call, first port of call in Ogun State is Abeokuta, the capital city. So what they see in capital city is what will determine the level of involvement they want to get in Abeokuta and Ogun State in general.
All right, because of our time, we'll be able to go on and on with the show. We appreciate you so much, Deji Ogundimu, for honoring our invitation and doing justice to the topic. Likewise, we want to appreciate those who contributed via the different platforms to the show. Those who commented on our WhatsApp group, those who participated via the short code, the tweets, and of course those who called. And of course you will just sit down quietly, and enjoyed the show. We appreciate every one of you. Tomorrow is another day on the show. Have a wonderful day. I am Tobi Joseph.
I am Aghemerio. Oaikhenan. Good morning.